I'd like to call to order the Hatfield Township Board of Commissioners regular meeting for December 15, 2021. Roll call.
President Zipfel.
Here.
Vice President Rogers.
Here.
Commissioner Andrus.
Here.
Commissioner Lees.
Here.
Commissioner Zimmerman.
Here.
So a couple of items down is a special item in recognition of a Hatfield resident who served 24 years on the Hatfield Township Civil Service Commission, Mr. Dan Reevy. And Dan is with us this evening, and so to begin our thank you, I'm going to ask that he lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, God, indivisible.
Okay, is there a motion for approval of tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Andrus.
Second.
Second by Vice President Rogers. All in favor of moving forward with the agenda before you and on the screen, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. We can move forward. Citizens' comments. Any citizens' comments on agenda items? Okay, we're going to move on to our consent items then. Is there a motion to move into the record the consent items listed in your agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Lees.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Zimmerman. Those consent items include the Board of Commissioners' regular meeting minutes for November 17, the police report for the month of November, treasurer's report for December of this year, and the bills payable. Paid bills in the amount of $20,722 and unpaid bills in the amount of $211,978.36. With that, I'll call the question. All in favor of moving those into the record, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, those are moved into the record. All right, as I mentioned before, we have a recognition of one of our own, longtime resident of Hatfield Township, and I'm going to ask that Mr. Reevy join me over at the podium because we would like to thank him and maybe embarrass him a little bit as a part of that. So. I joke when I say embarrass him. For those of you who've come to our meetings before, you know that one of the ways that we like to say thank you is to publicly pull people up to the front, say thank you, say a few nice things, and then force them to stand here and take pictures with all the commissioners and other residents. So we're going to do that tonight because I've known Dan for almost the entire time that I've lived here in Hatfield Township, over just roughly about 25 years. And I learned a few things about him in preparation for this evening that I did not know. So I'd like to share those with you. We are honoring him because for 24 years, almost a quarter of a century, he was a member of the Hatfield Township Civil Service Commission. Those of you who do not know what that is, it's the resident arm of the selection of police officers in our township, which, as you know, is a critical function. It is a critical responsibility that the township has, and to lead that organization that makes that decision is significant. I, at one point, for a short period of time, served with Dan, and the Civil Service Commission is a very serious commission, and it's we don't hire, when we hire police officers, we are hiring the best, as you can tell from, what a great force we have. And so the commission has, for many years, done a fantastic job. Dan has chaired it for, well, probably at least 15 or maybe 18 years or more. And what I learned tonight was that he's been in the township 25, 26 years and almost immediately volunteered to become a member of the Civil Service Commission. And so we talk about volunteerism in our town all the time, and yet this is the fastest I've ever seen where someone has actually landed, moved in, and then became a part of the community by joining an organization or volunteering for an organization. And it speaks, volumes about him. Now, add to that he's been a dear friend of mine and many other people in the room for many years. So we're thrilled to honor him to do that. So let me tell you a little bit about him because we like to do that as well. Those of you who don't know, he went to Valley Forge Military Academy, great institution, not far from here. Spent 38 years working for Verizon. I will lead off his biography by telling everyone that I know his family, his wife Celine and his kids Andrew and Danielle very well. It's just a wonderful family. And so I know he takes great pride and joy in being a father first and foremost. He had previously been the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce, been a member of that and received their Recipient of the Year, and you led the chamber for
Right. I was chairman for 4 years.
4 years. I couldn't remember how long that was. And like I mentioned before, not only did he lead our Hatfield Township Civil Service Commission, but he was also a member of the Jefferson Lansdale Hospital Advisory Council and Tourism and Economic Development Organization, part of through the county. And he has been just a great resident for not only Township, but all of Montgomery County. So in honor of Dan, who is about to become, sometime just a few weeks from now, your tax collector, and then we can tease him about our taxes and how much we have to pay, and
There's going to be several audits in the future.
of at least one commissioner.
One commissioner.
So maybe I don't want to give him this award, but in advance of that, we do have a special recognition here for you, for Dan. It says, in recognition and sincere appreciation of your distinguished service to the Hatfield community for the past 24 years as a Civil Service Commissioner, Hatfield Township Board of Commissioners 2021. Thank you for all your years of service. Congratulations, and good luck in your next position.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much. Thank you. I am going to display this proudly in my new quarters, which will be right down the hallway in a matter of a few weeks. I wasn't really prepared to say things, but let me get out my notes that I made for myself. First of all, I got to tell you something. Very rarely do I get surprised by certain things. You know, I like to think at 62 years old, you see a lot and you learned a lot. But I was really taken back by 3 of our neighbors tonight. For those who went through this last campaign, it was very spirited, to say the least. And you know, when you have the respect of your friends, that's one thing. But when you have respect of your opponents, that's a whole different level when you're in the political arena. So I have a heartfelt thank you to Carla, to Caitlin, and to Donald, who came out tonight to honor me and to share in this celebration. I'm really, really moved that you all took the time out of your personal lives during the holiday season to share this special moment with me. So I thank you. Please, may I have a round of applause for them, please? Thank you. So, 24 years went pretty quick. When I moved here in 97, or 96, 97, and actually, I'll tell you how long it was. Jerry was the president of the board. Gene Vandergriff came to me and said, we have an opening on the Civil Service Commission. Would you like to serve? And we ended up doing that. And it's funny, here we go, 24 years later. Served 3 chiefs, Chief Stanley. Bob was a terrific guy and a good leader here. Mark Toomey, who I served with for several years and really enjoyed the camaraderie and the work we did. But I have to be honest with you, the last couple of years working with the present commission members, being Vice Chair Joe McGurman and Member Jack Hoy and our alternate Laura, has clearly been the coup de grace of public service. And included in that is working with our outstanding police chief. And Bill, I really mean this. I think we have done a lot of really good things. We're a lot of sound, principled, and really put the resident first and foremost at all times. You know, we take the job of being the civil service members very, very seriously. These are the people who are going to be protecting our most precious assets, and that's our loved ones. And I think we have a very, very strong track record of hiring good men and women who have gone out and represented our community very, very well. And it's a badge of honor to me. I think I speak for my fellow members. That's a badge of honor for us. It's not a, get together, shoot the breeze, and whatever. We have spirited discussions, and but we always find the same finish line. So again, we always look out for the 18 to 20,000 resident plus there. Lastly, I want to thank the board. This is a terrific recognition. I wasn't expecting this. But again, it's a very bittersweet night for me. In my career, I sat on a lot of boards and commissions and things like that. And my wife, Celine, always said, you're not allowed to get off civil service. You're not allowed to get off civil service. Well, lo and behold, I got elected tax collector, and now I got to get off of civil service. So I'm going to move out of one capacity and put all that blood, sweat, and tears and energy in that role and put it in our new role here as your tax collector. I'm looking forward to January 3rd when we all get sworn in, and we're going to make the transition. We're going to put the resident first. I welcome your coaching, your feedback, anything we can do to make the tax collecting department. As a matter of fact, my opponent, Caitlin, and I have agreed we're going to get together. We're going to sit down. I want to embrace her ideas, and you know, I don't have all of them. Probably the bad ones. She probably has the good ones. And we're going to try to make our office as best as we possibly can. So again, I thank you all very, very much. In closing, I want to wish everyone a blessed and safe and fun-filled holiday season. And again, I'll see you all January 3rd. Thank you very, very much.
Hey, Dan, I hope one of Caitlin's ideas is you come and collect taxes for anybody over 60. Me too.
Okay, so we have another special item. First off, thank you, Dan. Thank you to all of the civil service commissioners who are with us this evening, past and present. And so our second special item is our Township Mural. And with that, I'm going to hand the baton over to Tina. Or Tina, the podium is yours. Those of you who don't know, this is the public reveal of our Township Mural that we discussed. Conversation probably started about 6-8 months ago, if that's right.
September 2020.
Oh, wow, time flies. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Well, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. This started out as an idea, a small idea, in the middle of a pandemic, and it had quickly become a dream of mine. So the purpose of this mural is to bring our community together and keep it together. The items and images that you'll see on the mural, it's not like any other mural that you've ever seen. I can assure you of that. It depicts Hatfield Township. It depicts the residents of Hatfield Township and what they do in the township. So it's an unusual mural only because, well, for a number of reasons. But one of the big reasons is because it will be on the Aquatic Center wall. Now there is Sharky on the wall with some waves and a few other things, but that will eventually be gone, and this mural will replace it. The odd thing is the wall itself is very strange, and it's very odd to put this mural on the wall. But we, after many times of meeting with artists, we found an artist who did not fear the wall, did not fear the condition of the wall, and also was able to take all of my ideas and interpret them onto a mural. So what we're going to see tonight is we'll see the mural on the screen, and it will have, because it's so long, it will be in sections. So it'll be like one page, next page, next page. So prepare your mind to sort of connect all the pages and visualize one great big mural. If you just look at the bottom of the dais, kind of imagine how the whole thing will flow. The other purpose for the mural is I wanted to have positive connectiveness of the community and a good energy and flow. When somebody would come by and look at the mural and see it, you would see a complete flow of things happening. So all the images are on a trail, pretty much Frick's Trail, And you'll see there's a pathway, and you'll see how that takes you through the mural. Hoping our time frame, we are hoping to have this done maybe the first or second week of May of next year. The goal is to have it definitely done by the opening of the pool, Memorial Day, but we would like to have it to make sure that there's no little things that need to be tweaked before the big grand opening. So this is the first public reveal. The next reveal will be when the mural's on the actual wall, and we will have a little, I guess, ceremonial kind of event for that, which will be announced and everyone's invited. Before we view the mural, can we put a picture of what the wall looks like, Aaron?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and
No, don't tell me.
I don't. I do not have that. I have the mural, though. There is no picture of the actual wall that you did send me, but I was running around a little crazy today, and here I am without it, but I have the mural to be unveiled.
Okay.
It
Well,
looks its
everybody's
age.
welcome to go and see it beforehand, anyway. And again, don't fear the wall. The wall needs to be prepared in a certain way. We've already met with Mike from Public Works, and he is not fearing the wall either, and repairing and preparing it. And we are, anything that needs to be done to the wall that is a little more than what Public Works can do, we will be interviewing some professional wall people, masons. We're not sure who will be the one, but it will be repaired for sure. Before we view the mural, I'd like to, and I'm not going to speak during the mural because I just want you to take it in, and I hope you get out of it what I was putting into it and the purpose of the mural. But I really, 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 from the bottom of my heart, want to thank Aaron and Deb, who worked on the committee with me, Deb Zimmerman, all of the commissioners, and our chief of police, and Ken Amy, who's not here. They have been so supportive. I could not have asked for a better cheering squad. I couldn't have done it without Aaron getting us the money from North Penn Health, Hospital, and Education Authority. I don't know if any of the board members are here tonight, but thank you so much, because not one penny of this mural is at the expense of a taxpayer or resident of Hatfield Township. The money, all of the money has been donated by North Penn Health, Hospital, and Education Authority. So without them, we couldn't have done it, and I thank you, thank you, thank you, and I'll be thanking you until I don't know, until eternity. So,
Ready?
shall we do it? Finally, the day has come.
All right. Give me a second to, since the dimensions are unique, like Tina said, give me a
Yes,
second to
it's-
zoom in here.
700 and, wait, I purposely brought a paper up here. It's 751 square feet long.
Close your eyes.
Huh?
They close their eyes until I get to the beginning.
Going
of
to
it.
the beginning.
Oh, no, 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 yes, yes, I like it.
Yeah. All right, ready? Everybody open their eyes. Tina, you don't want to talk about it at all? I'll just slow scroll.
Yeah, I think just scroll.
Okay. So obviously it's the left of the wall when you're looking at it from the parking lot.
Yeah, so when you're facing the aquatic center, the pool, this beginning is going to start from the left all the way towards the end, like towards the dog park, kind of that pickleball court and all.
Had a band for this. Let out the moose. It.
Whew. It's been a long time coming. So the first meeting was August of 2020, and here we are more than a year later, and hopefully we'll have this in by next year, by May, or in May. But as you can see on the mural, there's lots of things that are recognizable, and there's a lot of things in there that perhaps many of you participated in. And that was the whole purpose, was that it was very common ground for everyone. Everyone in our community, in our township, and everyone included, and at as many activities that we could put in. So we do know that there is a third salsa, but this is the final draft. So we had this all done before the little one was born. So thank you again to the commissioners, Chief, Aaron, Deb, thank you so much. Thank you to the township staff. Thank you for being a part of a dream and vision, helping my vision come to fruition. Thank you so much. I really am honored, and it was a privilege to get to this point. So thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you, Tina, for all your hard work and efforts to see this to fruition.
Very much so. Those of you who don't know, Tina and Bob are husband and wife, and they contribute to this township like no other. They are volunteers at our races. They are at all of our events. And when Tina came to us and said that this was an idea, it really didn't take much more than a blink, and we were all in. And so I want to thank Commissioner Zimmerman especially for helping with this, and of course Aaron and Chief. But Tina, thank you. It's a wonderful job, and we really appreciate it. It's a fantastic, fantastic thing you've done for the township. Thank you. Actually, one thing that I didn't notice I noticed it in one of the drafts, is that it said Chapman Circle. I don't know if anybody saw that. When it said the names of the streets, right? It had the names of some of our streets, but don't know Officer Chapman is one of our officers who passed away some years ago. And every year we have, in his honor, scholarships that we give to high school seniors. And so the first time that I saw that, it just kind of hit me like, wow, that's really neat. So that's a great addition too. And I'm sure the entire police department is very appreciative of that. Okay, now the boring part. The rest of the meeting. We're going to jump into committee reports. Planning and Zoning Committee, Vice President Rogers.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
All right, we're going to move along. Public Works Committee, Commissioner Lees.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thanks again to the residents who came out last month from Walnut Street to provide feedback about the traffic islands. Also, thanks to Chief Tierney and his team for having multiple speed enforcement efforts since the meeting as a result of the feedback. No final decision has been made yet regarding removal of the islands, but we will have Guide Mark install some features soon to make the structures more visible. We wouldn't do any of the work in the winter anyway. We can't do any patching because the macadam companies are closed in the winter. So this is a good idea for the meantime. Last week was the final week for the leaf pickup program. We know there were some issues with the final week. We have been in constant communication with the Republic, and they have come back to pick up most of the missed bags. Please reach out to the township if your leaves have not been picked up yet. And also, our township road crews are ready for whatever the winter will bring this season, although we hope for no snow except for on the ski mountains, Jer. We'll be prepared for whatever comes our way. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay, we're going to move to Parks and Recreation Committee. Commissioner Zimmerman.
Hey, lots of things going on this month. We had our giving tree. It was our 5th annual giving tree. It was a huge success. Thanks to the overwhelming generosity of the community, we were able to include more tags and more families on this year's tree. All the tags on the tree were taken and substituted for the corresponding gifts. Thank you to everyone who participated and helped to make this holiday a special one for several local families. We also have our virtual gingerbread contest, and there's still some time to sign up for that. Register by the end of tonight, and you'll have a chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card. Email your finished creations to gingerbread@hatfield.org. After the judges' votes, winners will be announced on the Township Facebook page. So register and submit your photos by tonight. Holiday shop, that was taking place as you came in. Hopefully you saw that. That was a big success as well. Thanks to all the local vendors and the shoppers for coming out. And we also have another competition, which we started last year, our Holiday Lights competition. So if you decorate your house every year for the holidays, join us for the competition. Submit photos of your decorated house to holidaylights@hatfield.org, and winners will be selected in several categories, including overall best, most colorful, most creative, most traditional, or classic. Winners will be announced on the Township Facebook page the week of December 27th. Register and photo your submission. The submission deadline is this Friday. Santa's Visit. Parks and Rec is partnering with the Hatfield Township Police Department and Police Benevolent Association to bring a little bit of the North Pole to Hatfield. Santa's Workshop, you can come check that out and participate in our Santa's Little Helpers. There's several activities, including decorating holiday cards that you could keep or to donate. Make a holiday ornament, decorate your own treat, and play great games like reindeer bowling, help an elf, and pin the nose on a snowman. Be sure to bring your letters to Santa and wear your best smile for a photo opportunity. And that'll be this Saturday, the 18th, at 11 to 1 here in the Township building. And also watch out for Santa on the fire trucks. I think one might be coming on Saturday and another one on the 24th. Get Fit classes are still continuing, but we'll start new ones in January. Information about yoga, Zumba, and a new remix class featuring a variety of workout styles is available on the website. Our Storytime series for January is Splat the Cat and the Pumpkin Picking Plan by Bob Scotton. Registration is $5 and includes a storybook and activity kit. Children can read the stories and complete the activity kit individually or do it as a family. Registered participants can pick up your books and activity kits between November 8th through November 19th, which is yes, okay. Email pictures of the family reading and completed activities to storybook@hatfield.org by November 23rd to be included in our November Storytime series post. Other questions and activities you can find on hatfieldrec.com on the website. So lots of things coming on, especially this weekend and next week. So be sure and take opportunities that you have. Okay.
Okay, that's great. Just have to jump some out of order on one item. I can't remember if I announced, I should have, at the beginning of the meeting. The board did meet in executive session to discuss personnel. So we'll move forward then with Public Safety Committee. We have an announcement, and that is we are pleased to announce that our newest recruit, Pat Kivlin, I think we have a photo as well, graduated from the Police Academy at the Community College on December 14. At the graduation ceremony, Pat was presented with an award for dedication and teamwork. He attained the title of Sergeant Squad Leader while at the Academy. Chief Tierney, Lieutenant Chiarello, and Officer Plasinski attended the ceremony along with Pat's family. Officer Plasinski now has the undertaking and the obligation to turn Pat into one of Hatfield's finest. He'll be working with him closely. And Pat attended the Academy from last July until his recent graduation. Pat is the first officer to go through the academy under the township's new training standards, allowing us to expand our outreach to bring in recruits who do not yet have the academy under their belt. So we look forward to our new officer, Kivlin, serving with Hatfield Township and serving our community for many years to come. And we appreciate Chief and his entire staff, not only in supporting Pat, but in the new standards that allowed Pat to come to us. So congratulations to Pat and to those who are working with him. All right, we're going to move on to the Finance Committee. Commissioner Andrus.
Thank you. So the first agenda item that we'll be voting on tonight is the approval of the 2022 budget. And the budget will again maintain taxes at the current level. And there has been no tax increase for 8 years now. And I just want to stay off, deviate from the script here. That doesn't come without effort. It's not by luck that happens. We have a tremendous staff that looks at our staffing and, foremost quality of service. Then we want to get as much of that service as we can for value for the dollar. And I can tell you that many of the bridges here in Township, or Villa Road specifically, some of the demolition work that's been done has been donated by outside resources. There are a lot of things that Hatfield Township has done that we have not had to bear the cost for because the effort that Aaron puts forward and all the staff puts forward in getting grant funding. I can't imagine what our tax rate would be if we didn't have enough funding and accomplish what we accomplished the last 8 years. I've been back on the board, but for 10 years. So kudos to you guys, Aaron, and specifically your leadership, and Chief, yours as well. But it shouldn't go unrecognized that your team is what makes this possible from year in.
Thank you.
So what I'll do is, I probably took more time than it's going to take me to read the rest of this. I'll summarize in very short order what Aaron took about 3 hours to summarize a month ago. So the highlights for 2022 budget, we're going to get new playgrounds at School Road Park, Community Park by the pool, and possibly the development of Clemens Park if awarded a grant. $100,000 for Township-Wide stormwater study. So stormwater in this township has often been a problem for how you remediate it and how you get it to the storm basins. And the last several years, we've had $50,000 allocated to kind of address very specific issues. So this $100,000 will give us a more targeted approach to what needs to be done through the township. Through the efforts of Bob and Tom, the pension costs are down significantly from years past, and that was really helpful. This year, we'll put about $800,000 into paving the roads. Design of a better Orvilla-Welsh Road intersection. So Orvilla and Cowpath was a real mess. Now we're going to tackle another intersection that could use some improvement. And overall expenses expect to be only about a 1% increase. Congratulate the Township's organization for another great year from a financial perspective, and we hope that streak continues in 2022. But thank you very much, Aaron and Chief and the staff, for all they do to be sure that we're responsible in holding ourselves accountable to the residents for what we do in the community. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to some of our action items, which Jerry's report dovetails directly into. And because if those of you are not entirely sure what tonight's action items are, we're going to be passing our budget. I'm going to hand the baton off to Aaron because he's going to give you probably a quick update. No?
I have nothing more to add, Mr. President. The 3 hours last month, I think, was sufficient, and then supplemented by that beautiful update by Mr. Andrus.
Okay.
He'll suck all the air out of this room. Let's keep moving.
I don't want people to leave again like last month.
Well, I'll give 30 seconds just because, they tease me. That's the way I'm built. But this budget process starts really July and August, if not sooner than that. And Aaron does a fantastic job of bringing all the division heads, the department heads together and sitting down and looking at the budget, trying to find places where costs can be saved, revenue can be generated, different scenarios like that. And each year, like Jerry said, this doesn't just happen. They've been fantastic fiscally to the extent that we have not had a tax increase in 8 years. And notwithstanding, we've been able to do the great things that Jerry mentioned and Aaron has presented. But the process, going back to the process for a second, once the division heads, department heads get together, a proposed budget is drafted, and then we have a public meeting, which we had this year, and we met and discussed not just short-term goals, but long-term goals, and then, of course, took those pieces of the puzzle and worked them into the budget for 2022. We look to see first how successful we were in 2021, and just generally I'll describe as we were very successful in meeting many, if not all, of our goals. And we have a number of goals for 2022, and we're very optimistic we'll be able to meet those as well because of the fiscal position that we're in, again, because of the good leadership of Aaron and the rest of the staff. So tonight, though, is the night where, after all of those public meetings, and we've presented this a couple of different times, and that's what Jerry was joking around about Aaron's presentation, I guess, a meeting or two ago. And tonight is the night to vote on it. And so our first action item is ordinance number 698. It's with regard to the adoption of the budget. I'll take a motion for approval of the 2022 Hatfield Township budget adoption. Is there such a motion? Motion by Commissioner Andrus, second by Vice President Rogers. Any questions or comments from commissioners or residents? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of ordinance number 698, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Part and parcel of that process with regard to our budget is the millage, and that would be contained in ordinance number 698. Is there a motion for approval of the establishment of the 2022 taxes with no increase?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Lee, second by Commissioner Andrus. Any questions or comments from commissioners or residents? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of ordinance 698, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. And so that actually concludes not our meeting, but it concludes our budgetary process, the one that started probably 6 months ago. So for everyone who was involved, the staff in particular, we thank you very much. All right, we have a few more action items. Next is a police services agreement with Hatfield Borough. Is there a motion? The chair will make a motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Lees. Aaron, is this something you want to walk us through, or we talk about generally?
Sure. Yes, thanks, Mr. President. This is exciting news for both the police department, the township, and especially the residents of Hatfield Borough. We've had a very good working relationship with the borough now for many years, where the township provides police services of the best department you will find. And this agreement extends that relationship for 5 years. So have stability as far as funding goes. We can plan accordingly, and we think the Hatfield Borough residents will certainly benefit from having the services provided by our police department led by Chief Tierney. So 5-year agreement, significant contributions toward the police department. I think the commissioners have done a great job over the years. An agreement that's fair to both towns, but also helps us subsidize our department. That's a significant portion of our budget, which we get from Hatfield Borough, and a lot of our services do then go into the borough. So it's a relationship and an agreement that works for both municipalities.
Could not have described it better. So with that, I will call a question. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Action item number 4, is there a motion to award the bid to the American Pool Plastering for $61,300 for the tile replacement at the Aquatic Center?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Andrus. Second by Vice President Rogers. Questions or comments? Pretty straightforward. This is a good housekeeping matter, which when you have a contract that's larger in size, in particular when it comes to a capital improvement or an improvement of a capital matter, then we put it on the agenda. So any questions or comments? Hearing.
Just one other comment, Mr. President. This is a budgeted item. I just want everybody to be aware. Budgeted, planned for, and just another upgrade to our aquatic center for 22.
So with that, I'll call the question. All in favor of the motion with regard to the tile replacement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Action item number 5, is there a motion for approval with regard to the traffic signal easement at Wawa and Broad and Cowpath?
So moved.
By Commissioner Lees.
Second.
Second by Vice President Rogers. Also pretty straightforward. I'm not sure if you had any comments.
Straightforward and exactly the same as a easement approved last month for the Pulte development. This one is for the traffic signal associated with the Wawa that's coming to Broad and Cowpath. And I don't have an illustration. I think I left that with the wall picture, Dana, sorry. But it allows township staff to access the signals for maintenance.
Okay, any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of the motion with regard to traffic signal easement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Last but not least, is there a motion for approval of Resolution 21-34 with regard to the fee schedule amendments? Motion by Commissioner Andrus.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Zimmerman. Questions or comments? This is a part and parcel of the budgetary process that identifies the fees that, I almost said not necessarily residents, all different types of entities and individuals pay for various things, everything from permits to other fees. And this is our re-upping, so to speak, that fee schedule. So any questions or comments?
The only noteworthy one, Mr. President, is the aquatic center rates are increasing incrementally, roughly 5% across the board, and that's just because everything costs more, including employees, and we want to make sure we have enough employees next year where we struggled this year recruiting. So did many other similar facilities, but we want to be well positioned in 22 so we can sort of get back to normal in that facility.
Right. Hearing no other questions or comments, I'll call the question. All in favor of Resolution 21-34, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Second to last, actually, is our Township Staff Report. Aaron, you have a couple of matters.
Yeah, sure. Just a few things I want to update the board and the community on that I think you'll find interesting. And Commissioner Andrus mentioned it, and Commissioner Zipfel as well, as one of the highlights in the budget for next year. Now that within the last few weeks, thanks to Senator Collette and State Representative Steve Malagary, Township was awarded roughly $460,000, as well as Towmenson Township, to study this intersection. I'd imagine everyone in this audience has been stuck at this intersection several times, if not a day, throughout your week for sure. And like Commissioner Andrews said, Cowpath-Orvilla was certainly our most obvious problem intersection. But then when that was fixed, we have a plan in place to address others, and this one is number 2 on that list. The fortunate news about this intersection is it is shared between 2 municipalities, so we have a partner on this. So all costs associated with these improvements over time will be shared evenly, which is one of the reasons I think our application looked more appealing to the people giving out the money in Harrisburg. So our engineers, McMahon and Associates, that have done such a good job in other situations throughout the township. We're going to start looking at this now in 22 and come up with a way to design it so we have some turn lanes. We have an ability to move traffic when someone is stuck there, and no, we're not touching the cemetery. We're not going near there. That's not even a conversation we're willing to have. We had to acquire several homes and gas stations for Cowpath and Orvilla, but we're not acquiring cemeteries. We're not going to touch that one. So we're going to find a way using those 3 other portions of that intersections to see what we can do to make that one more efficient. This is just a quick street view. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about, but this just gives you that intersection. It's a rough one. So we'll see what we can do and look forward to fixing it over the next few years, thanks to the commissioners. Last item, commissioners and community. Speaking of the flood that Commissioner Andrus mentioned in the Township-Wide stormwater study that the commissioners have approved for 2022, it's all going to sort of align with our efforts that we're working on now. Give you a sense of what part of the township really we see significant flooding when the rains, and again, these are historic rains that we've had over the last 2 years, but in this portion in particular, and this is a map of a township-wide floodplain, and this was defined by FEMA. So you can see that's the west branch of the Neshaminy Creek, and that portion we have circled, what we've observed over the last few years gets the most intense amount of water and damages. So over the last months since Hurricane Ida, we've been in constant communication with many residents. Commissioner Lees, who represents this ward, has been out there dozens of times talking to his constituents. We're assessing damage, trying to understand the needs of the residents and what we can do to help. We've identified 5 properties that over the years have had the worst damage, and we're in the process of applying for funding from FEMA to acquire all 5 properties. And if successful, the township would be able to then convert those properties into stormwater basins. So it would help all of the areas in that, along that floodplain. So we're going through not the easiest process. We're working with FEMA, we're working with PEMA, which is the state level of the Emergency Management Association. We had a meeting with them yesterday. There is more funding available now than there ever has been for projects like this, and we're not sure if that will happen again. So we're trying to take advantage of it. All of this is voluntary. All of these residents can decide not to continue and participate. We've talked to each one of them. As of now, they are all feeling as if that's the best move for them. Again, we're not sure if we're going to get the funding, but we're going to move forward with it and do everything we can to get enough funding so we can give residents a peace of mind and an ability to sell their home at a fair market value pre-flood rates and move to another house so they don't have to, every time it rains, feel a lot of stress and fear. And it's been hard, some of these specifically, 2 straight years, so 2 within a 13-month period, have lost their entire basement as well as their entire first floor. And rebuilt their house, and then a year later Ida came and had to do it again. So getting to know the residents through both of those processes is very hard. And so we're gonna work extremely hard to make sure they don't have to experience that again. So over the next few weeks and months, we'll give the commissioners an update on how we're doing with these applications. And hopefully we'll have some really good news to share with the residents and the community.
All right, a worthy effort for sure.
Thank you.
All right, Aaron, anything else?
That's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you, commissioners, for your support this year, and it's our last meeting of the year, so I appreciate everything you guys do for the township staff and the community. Grateful.
Solicitor's report.
No report for you guys tonight.
It's always good to hear nothing from your attorney sometimes, so we appreciate that. I'm going to take a lot of teasing about that later, I'm sure. Citizens' comments. Any citizens' comments? Yes, Ed?
Sergeant, you can't bring up the basin before Christmas.
No, not on the last meeting of the year.
Think about my kids.
That's not going to happen, unfortunately. Ed Tarter, Downing Drive. Yes, that's the topic. I brought it up a few weeks or a month ago when there was some problems and it caused some hate and discontent where one of the commissioners was being challenged to his position here because he helped me when I asked for the help. So I'm here tonight to address the whole board and whoever else is involved so that one person isn't being singled out for taking responsibility for taking care of a resident. The township mowed the fields out there this past week. The cattails are still there. They're 8 to 10 feet tall. There's still water being laying there, stagnating, if you will, along the trail where the cattails are. I was wondering what's going to be done and when the cattails are being removed and what might be done to facilitate the water flow.
Public Works team is coming up with a plan on how to remove the cattails. The plan is, that was part 2. We're going to remove them or cut them very short and remove then the material. For the right weather, they may sub it out to a landscaping company, but it is something we talk about more than I would ever like to, but we do, and it is happening.
That's the problem I'm having. I just hear, and I don't take this personal, but I just hear talk and not action. In my understanding, when the basins were changed from being a retention basin to a naturalized basin, that they're going to be taken care of twice a year. The second part of the year has never happened. It usually goes into the next year because the trail down there, something happened. There was no cattails out there until the redesign of the flow channel. And then it just worked its way up in the bottom up to the top to where now it's restricting the water coming out of the storm sewer and backing it up onto my property and not allowing it to flow through the basin as it should flow. I brought it up last month or a month before. I talked to my commissioner about it, and some of it was cut, and it caused a lot of hate and discontent, or not hate and discontent, but a lot of discontent. And that was done to facilitate some of the flow. Well, now the problem is still there. It's just 30 feet further down where the cattails are causing backup of debris and water, and it's not flowing the way it should do. Now, the cattail's supposed to have been in there from the outset. Is that a part of the original naturalization, or is that something that just happened?
It will happen regardless of what we do. But you're right, Sergeant. Our goal is twice a year, and our goal is to remove them. Not arguing with you.
Like I say, last year this time it was the same situation. It was water, it was this and that, and what I'm seeing next is the snow will be on the ground, and the ice will be on the ground. We're in right now in a very different type of weather pattern that we normally wouldn't have. I got pictures on my phone of my grandchildren playing in the snow this time last year. So I'm figuring that's what's going to happen next. So we can't get out there without the snow plow. So whatever you can do to facilitate it, I'd appreciate it for appearance, as well as the health issues that it has where the debris is piling up behind my home and the water is stagnating there.
Sir.
It's still an open issue. There's no expectation as to what might be done.
There's no issue on our end. Our team has a direct order to remove everything. So once they feel like it's solid enough and not wet and safe enough, they'll do it. I defer to them as far as the conditions of the basin. That's not my forte. So they have my support and everyone else up here support to knock everything down.
A contractor or someone was out there a few weeks ago walking around the basin checking things out.
Prices. Yep.
But I guess that didn't happen, so now
it has not happened yet, but
we're doing it in-house. Well, my hope...
Not necessarily.
All right, well, my hope is that we don't end up with, we can't do it now because of the ice and the snow.
I know, we had the same conversation last year, and I understand. I also understand when, equipment gets stuck or it ruts up the entire basin, then everybody else calls and says that they don't like the look of that either. I mean, we're trying to find a condition that works.
Years ago, it was done in September, and we didn't seem to have the problem. And Mr. Swartley was doing it. He was cutting it, and it was nice as could be.
Since then, we've learned, and we've learned from mistakes as far as when we're supposed to maintain the basins to make sure we're doing it in an environmentally responsible way.
So
there's parameters that we have to follow.
Earlier is not going to be better, like in September or anything.
Not until after frost.
Okay, I guess I'll have to wait for the snowman to come along and help me out then.
I'm hoping soon, Sergeant.
Right.
And then I'm hoping again in March, before the spring. That's the goal.
That's what I'm seeing. It no sooner gets cut than it's growing back up again. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ed. All right, any other citizens' comments? Thank you, Dean. We appreciate it. And as a matter of fact, I was just about to say the same thing on behalf of the commissioners and the staff to the entire township. We wish everybody happy holidays, safe 2021, and let's hope a very safe and a different 2022. So all good things in 2022. So. As the entire board wants to thank you, those of you who come to our meetings, those who come tonight, and those who volunteer on our commissions and boards and whatnot. We greatly appreciate it. And so happy holidays. Enjoy the season. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Andrews, second by Commissioner Lees. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you next year. Thanks, folks.